Hey everybody, so this is part 3 of Who the F Did I Make a Baby Doll With? I am on my way to work, y'all. It's early, but let's get started. So, I have moved. I have officially became a U-Haul lesbian, you guys. I have moved for a female to another state. Something that I've never ever done before, ever in my life. I've never done anything like that, so that was very new. So I moved to Alabama. I ended up staying with Alicia's girlfriend. She had a trailer out in the middle of nowhere, and it was like an hour or two away from the city. So most of the time on the weekends, me and the kids and Keisha would all go to the city. So, of course, funded by me, because I'm the only one who had money. I was the only one who was working. Keisha didn't have a steady income. She did have a custom business where she would make designer t-shirts. She made pacifiers, onesies. She would customize anything, pretty much. Very super talented girl. She also was a baker, so she did like cakes and pies, and also she did like edible arrangements. So I'm not going to take that from her, y'all. She was very talented at what she did when she actually was motivated to do something. So we would stay out there in the trailer, and she would come out there to, she would be working on her custom orders from people while she was out there, and I worked from home, so I worked from home. Alicia's girlfriend worked for the county clerk's office. She worked for the government, so she would leave in the mornings and be basically at the courthouse. That's where she worked. Alicia lived in the city. She worked for Amazon, so we rarely got to see her. She mainly was out there like on weekends too, sometimes weekdays when she was off, but we would see her in passing. We didn't see Alicia that much. Things were going good, I'm not even gonna lie. It was very different and new living out there with my kids, and also my Yorkie, you guys. He was out there as well. But you know, Keisha was very domestic in the beginning. She made sure that the clothes stayed clean, and that dinner was cooked, breakfast was made. You know, she did all of those things for me, which I really appreciated. And that kind of was like the gist of like what we had going on. Like, I paid the bills, so you kind of, you know, do all the other things to help me out. That was the agreement that we had, and it worked out for us. She started to get a little bit distant. I didn't know why, so I had asked her about it, and she told me that you know, she was going through a lot, you know, with her sickness and everything. We're still trying to figure out what's going on. We are going back and forth to doctor's appointments. She had a car, but her fake pastor mother always had the car. And the crazy thing about it is that I was paying the car note and the car insurance on her car, but she never had it. I had my truck, and my truck was what got us from point A to point B. I was also paying my car note and my car insurance on my car. Like I said, I would have to take her to her doctor's appointments. If I couldn't get off of work to do it, then she would have Alicia's girlfriend do it. But most of the time, they would take my car. They would use my truck. And her doctor was not out in the country where we were staying. Her doctor was about an hour or two back into the city. So they would use my car to do that, my truck to do that as well. She said that she never had been with somebody or in a relationship where she had to be so vocal about things. So she wasn't sure how to communicate with me. And, you know, me being with a life coach, and, you know, my wife always, you know, showing me different ways to express myself, as well as the people that she worked with to help in her sessions. Journals were very important. That was something that we utilized a lot. So I purchased a journal for her, and it was supposed to be for both of us, like a communication journal. That way we could communicate openly and freely with no judgment. And it barely got utilized. She would basically use it when I felt a way about something that she had done or said that had hurt my feelings, and then she would try to justify it by writing in a journal and express about how her childhood was really hard. I don't want to go into too much about what went on in her childhood, because I think half of it was, you know what, we just don't go there. I feel like half of it wasn't true anyway, so I could just say it. So anyways, her birth mother, she said, had an accident after she was born, where she had climbed a fence or something and she fell, and it resulted into a brain injury. Her mother, I met her birth mother, she had the like mentality of like a 7 to 11-year-old child. Keisha said this affected her a lot growing up, because her mother wasn't able to give her the proper care that she deserved, so she had to go live with an aunt. I've also met this aunt, and I feel like this aunt is also borderline narcissistic. She stated that she lived with her pretty much up until the age of, I think, 16. Her aunt's husband was very physically, emotionally, and sexually abusive, and her aunt wouldn't do anything about it. When she would tell her what was going on, her aunt would blame her for why it was happening to her, and she had ended up being pregnant by the aunt's husband, her uncle. So the aunt was upset and jealous that she was pregnant by the uncle, and they had an altercation when she was about, she said, about 5 or 6 months pregnant, and the aunt pushed her down the stairs and she lost the baby. You guys, I know things like that happen in this world, so I'm not going to say that they don't, but your family, nobody in your family said anything about this. Nobody had a problem with your situation. Mind you, I've met some of her family members, and they didn't come off to me like the type of people who would just sweep something like that under the rug. So I was just like side-eyeing that whole situation. For you to be pregnant by this man, willingly be pregnant by this man, nobody's, there's no legal actions going on at all, and you're just walking around pregnant like you weren't just, SA'd. Like, I don't know. I don't know how true that was. Honestly, I don't. So once she lost the baby, because there was an altercation between her and her aunt while she was in the hospital, the police and a social worker came and told her that because she assaulted her aunt, but she was the one who got pushed down the stairs being pregnant. Guys, whatever. That she had to go to juvenile. So from the age of 16 to 18, she was locked up. That's what I was told. She was in juvie. Okay. So, she didn't know how to love. She's always wanted a family because she's never had one. Mind you, guys, I've been around her family members, and I did not get those vibes at all. I didn't get the vibes to where they didn't care about her. I didn't get the vibes to where she didn't have any family. She had a sister that I met. She was a little uptight, yes, but I don't feel like she was as evil as Keisha had wanted me to believe. I mean, this lady was always welcoming us into her home with no problem. She would, I never heard conversations with her and her sister, but she would come to me and she would be crying, saying that, you know, her sister said hateful and ugly things about her. She also said her sister was jealous of her because she was the prettier sister. She was younger. She had a better body. People, you know, she can get relationships. Her sister never could keep a man and things like that. Like, she always said negative things about this lady. This lady also had children. And I met one of her sons and her daughter and her grandkids. And, you know, Keisha used to say negative things about her children too. Her niece was a nurse, and she was very successful. She was a very beautiful girl. One second, y'all. Sorry, y'all. This is still part 3. I was at work, and now I'm not. So I'm getting off of work, and I can continue the story. So I was letting you guys know that the niece was really successful and really pretty, and I kind of feel like Keisha felt the way about the niece because the niece had children, she had a husband, you know, she had a relationship and things like that. So I feel like Keisha was very jealous of her niece because she wanted the things that her niece had. I was also told on several different occasions that Keisha raised one of her girlfriend's children as babies, and the girl just basically left the kids with her, and she was raising them on her own. I don't have any confirmation about that either. I never met the children. I have seen pictures of them. She wasn't active in their life when she was with me, but she claims that she was. I never seen her go and pick these kids up, go visit these kids. She never really talked about them, holidays, birthdays, nothing. So that was kind of odd for me. Also, she has stated, of course, that she had PCOS, so it was hard for her to become pregnant. She had been pregnant before in the past, and she lost the baby. She gave birth to the baby. It was stillborn. I have no confirmation of that information either. Nor have I heard her family ever divulge the fact that she'd ever been pregnant and lost a child. So a lot of stuff wasn't adding up, y'all. I really thought she was like super, I'm not going to say successful, but I always thought that she really was about her business and that she handled business and she was really into her business. I would see her taking orders all the time and making different things. She was always busy with that, but I mean, I don't know. So like I said, the gist of our relationship was she was the domestic one. I was the one who brought home the money and paid the bills. So like I said, that was working out and it was going okay. And then she decided to stop doing the things that she agreed to do. So when I got off of work, I kind of had to cook and clean up and all that stuff. And, you know, I had came to her and I'd asked her, like, you know, what's going on? Why are things changing? And she told me that Alicia's girlfriend was jealous and she wanted Alicia to do those things for her too. And so it was causing problems amongst the sisters, and she didn't want to fight with her sister about it, so she just decided to stop doing it. I'm sorry. I just believe that was a crock of shit. I just feel like she just didn't really want to do anything anymore. She also blamed her seizures on things, and like I said, I'm not going to deny that she did not have seizures at all, but she used them when it was convenient for her to get out of things, which I could tell. You know, I have been in the medical field for, oh my gosh, over 10 years at this point. I just changed, careers not too long ago, a few years ago. So at the time, I was in insurance, but I had worked actually in the medical field. So I knew exactly what a seizure looked like and everything. Plus, my son, not to divulge too much of his information, he's epileptic. So I know what it looks like, versus a real seizure or a fake seizure. She had absent seizures, which are a lot different than actual convulsion seizures, but I read up on it. I'm the type of person that if you tell me that you have an illness, I want to be as natural and holistic as I possibly can. That's the healer in me. That's the fixer in me. So I'll go and I will look up these things to see if I can find things to help out. So I found out, symptoms and things to look for when someone has absent seizures. And so you can't talk when you're seasoned. Whether it's a convulsive one or just an absent one, you can't speak. And that's how I knew when she was faking one, because she would be speaking. You can't speak if you're having a seizure at all. So that was something that I started to look for, and I wouldn't entertain it. I would just let her have her fake seizure, and when she was finished, after she thought she was going to get her way, I would wait a little while and I would come back and address the problem, because we're not going to sit up here and play mental games. Like, no, for sure you're not having a seizure right now, and so do I, so we're not going to do that. So there would be times where she would just have attitudes for no reason, expect me to do things that she wouldn't do for me. So it caused a lot of friction, to the point to where I had asked her, to move, or not move, but to go back to the city, and we just needed some time apart. I did that several times while I was living out there, and when the holidays were coming up, it was just horrible. That was the worst Thanksgiving that me and my children ever had. She wanted to go back and forth with me about cooking, and I told her I normally cook certain things for my kids every year, and they're going to be expecting me to cook those things. And she was like, well, we can cook together. So I was like, okay, because I wanted to incorporate her, because she felt left out. Okay, cool. I mean, I feel like she purposely used ingredients and stuff in the food that I was trying to make to, cause an issue. And my kids were not interested, nor was I interested in eating it the way that she made it. So we literally had breakfast for Thanksgiving. Christmas rolled around, and we decided to go to this place that had this big casino. Me, her, Alicia's girlfriend, Alicia, and Alicia's girlfriend also had a grown daughter that was in college. She had came down, and we all decided to get an Airbnb, and our tradition is gumbo. So we were going to make gumbo, and we're going to exchange gifts, and everybody was supposed to exchange gifts. Now, I had purchased some gifts for the fake sisters, Alicia and Rasputia. I had purchased them some Coach watches, you guys. Now, everybody was supposed to exchange gifts with everybody. So I purchased them Coach watches. Alicia's girlfriend, I had bought some Bath and Body Works. Her grown daughter from college, she was a horror thriller fan like me. So I purchased her I think it was a Michael Myers t-shirt, and then it was also a Michael Myers tumbler, and some horror socks. That's what I purchased her for Christmas. So I had got everybody's things in a row, and the Coach watches were supposed to be delivered out there to the trailer. Mind you, I was checking the status to make sure that they were going to come, and they were going to come on time. And the day that they were delivered, I was there. I was home, of course, because I worked from home, but they never showed up there. So I had to contact Coach and file a claim, and they weren't sure what happened, but it said that they were delivered and that somebody signed for it. The name on the signature, they did not know, but they did confirm the address. I wholeheartedly believe that Alicia and her girlfriend stole those watches. I don't understand why they had to steal them, because one of the watches was for Alicia, but hey, it is what it is. So they did end up sending them back out, and so I guess they got watches twice, or I don't know what Alicia and her girlfriend did with the other watches. They could have pawned them, sold them, whatever. I don't know what they did. But free of charge. I'd already paid for the first watches, so I didn't really care. And if they showed up, they showed up. I was just gonna dispute the claim if the second set of watches didn't show up. So Keisha was talking about how she's never had a Christmas, that her family never done anything special for her. She's never gotten gifts from girls that she's been in relationships with, things like that. So I wanted to make Christmas special for her. I definitely did go all out for her. I'm not going to name everything that I bought her, but everything was pretty much name brand, and she even got a name brand purse from me for Christmas. So she also stated that she felt bad because she always gets her mom something every year, and she couldn't get her mom anything. And we were also inviting her mom to the Christmas trip because she wanted to spend time with her mother, and she really, really wanted to buy her mom something nice. And so she called her mom and asked her mom in front of me on FaceTime what she wanted for Christmas, and her mom said that she wanted a laptop. So yeah, you guys, I went to Best Buy and bought her mom a laptop. So everybody has, and my girls got what they wanted for Christmas. I wrapped up all their gifts and everything like that. We put up the tree when we got to the Airbnb. We brought a tree with us, and we put the tree up. We set all the gifts underneath the tree, and we basically were waiting for Christmas. We did come down on Christmas Eve. Everything went okay until that evening. We were supposed to go to the casino. First, we were supposed to see the Christmas lights. We had to go to Walmart to pick a couple of things up, and we were supposed to meet Alicia and her girlfriend there. So we're walking around Walmart, and Keisha wanted some new pants. She didn't like the pants or the way the pants fit that she had brought. So we were walking around there, and it was getting later and later in the evening. So I kept asking her, the ETA on her sister and her girlfriend, and she kept telling me she didn't know. So I guess because I was getting a little frustrated and irritated about, trying to figure out where they were so that we could figure out what we were going to do, she started yelling and screaming at me because I had asked where they were. So at this time, I'm livid. I'm ready to just go back to the Airbnb and just relax, because why, what for? So I went out on the porch, and at the time I was vaping, you guys. So I was out there vaping, and she came out there, and we ended up having a heated conversation about the way that I felt that she was acting, because she was being very rude. She was being bossy and bratty, and she was just too old to be acting the way she was acting. So we kind of separated to kind of cool off, and everybody finally ended up back at the Airbnb, and they were saying that they wanted to go to the lights. So before we went to the casino. So the plan was for me, Keisha, and her mother to drive in my car together to go to the casino after we left the lights and dropped the kids off. But it didn't happen that way. She claims that I told her that she wasn't allowed to ride in my car, lying, gaslighting, things like that. I never told that girl she couldn't ride in my car. So she got in the car with her sister and her sister's girlfriend and daughter, And so I thought that they decided not to go to the lights. I don't know what was going on anymore because nobody was communicating with me. I did end up at the casino with Keisha's mom by myself. I don't know where they were or what they were doing. Probably about 45 minutes later, they showed up at the casino. At this point, I'm livid and I'm ready to go home. So I, gave her mother, and I told her I'm finna go back to the Airbnb and I'm finna lay down for the night. So that's exactly what I did. She came in too. We didn't really talk or anything. I slept at the bottom of the bed. She slept at the top. The next morning, of course, was Christmas. She wanted to make up and not make it, a bad day or a scene. So I was like, okay, cool. So I let, the girls open their gifts first and everything. And so she opened her gifts. And I opened my gift from Alicia, because Alicia did actually buy me something for Christmas. She bought me some boots or whatever. Then I opened my gift from Keisha, and Keisha brought me some Tommy Hilfiger pajamas. And that's the only thing I got from her for Christmas. And it was crazy because she was working hard the entire time leading up to Christmas, and I was paying all of our bills, and she was stating how she was going to purchase things for me too because she knew that I deserved them after everything that I did, and and all I got was Tommy Hilfiger pajamas. One set. A shirt and some pants. So, and also the thing that Alicia bought me was way more expensive than what she bought me for Christmas. Now, y'all, I'm not a materialistic person, but say what you mean to mean what you say. If you're gonna tell me that you're gonna do something, then please do that. If not, then don't. Like, don't do that. I hate when people do stuff like that. Like, it's annoying. Like, don't. Say what you mean to mean what you say. So I was ready. I was ready to leave and go back home. But I was trying to make the best for the kids. I didn't want anything to make them feel any kind of way. So we decided to get up and we started to make gumbo. So we were making gumbo, and this is the first time that I ever heard of the children or whatever. She ended up calling the oldest child of the girl that she used to date, and she was having a conversation with her or whatever. So while she was doing that, she was also sitting at the table making cheesecake. We had just finished making the gumbo and it was simmering in the pot. She said she wasn't feeling well, so I told her to just don't worry about the cheesecake, to go and lay down, relax for a little while. So she did. She went to go lay down and she took a nap. During that time, she did really actually have a seizure, you guys. And it was so bad, I don't know what was going on, but she started throwing up. And when she was throwing up, she started throwing up blood. Because she was throwing up blood, it was very concerning to us. So, to me, because I'm not even gonna lie, Alicia didn't care. It was late at night, and she did not want to deal with anything. And I was like, we need to get her to the hospital because she is vomiting up blood. Alicia was upset. She was really annoyed. I told her that she didn't have to come, that I could just call her and give her updates. Keisha's mother was with us, of course. She was freaking out. I had to calm her down and let her know that everything was going to be okay, that she could just relax and go to bed, and we're going to take Keisha to the emergency room. So we ended up taking her, and they really didn't know what to do. She was still vomiting there. They gave her medicine to help with that. And also she said that she had a really bad headache, so they had gave her a cocktail that they give for really bad migraines or whatever. And they monitored her for a little while, and we probably left the hospital. We ended up there. It was like midnight-ish. We didn't leave there till like 6 in the morning. Once we left there, we did go back to the Airbnb and got some sleep. We slept probably until like the afternoon time, and then we got up to go like sightseeing around the town that we had got the Airbnb in. I did end up going shopping. So I bought her pretty much anything that she was interested in while we were down there. I also took Alicia and Keisha's mom, as well as Keisha and my kid, we went out to breakfast at Cracker Barrel, and I did pay for that. We also took my youngest go-karting. She loves stuff like that, so we had a blast doing that, and then we headed back out to the country, to the trailer. That's the gist of the holidays, the first 2 holidays that we spent together. The tension started to grow, though, in the home, in the trailer, and it just really wasn't a comfortable situation. Alicia was constantly hitting on me, and even her girlfriend started to too. It just became really uncomfortable, so I was like trying my hardest to find a place to move into. I had always been looking, but I don't know, it's like some weird thing in this city or this state to where there's only a certain time where there's vacant apartments because nobody moves until this certain season. So I was stuck out there for about a month and a half, almost 2 months, and then I finally found a place near the city. It was like 15-20 minutes out, and I put in my, down my deposit and everything, and they told me I could pick up the keys within a couple of days or whatever, because I got approved. So yes, I was excited about that, but I also told Keisha that I didn't think it was a good idea for us to move in together because she wasn't able to, help with anything. So she wasn't going on my lease, nor was she supposed to be a permanent resident in my apartment. Now, we lived literally 15 minutes, not even 15 minutes, less than 10 minutes away from each other because we moved around the corner from where she was originally staying with her fake pastor mom and her fake sisters. So the agreement was that she could stay over as often as she wanted to, but she wasn't moving in. So I'm going to stop there, y'all, because it's getting really long. And thank you so much for watching part 3 of Who the F I Made a Baby Doll.